Hurricane Irene may have shut down New York for a time, but it is not going to stop the U.S. Open.
Yeah, indeed. The Grand Slam Tennis Classic gets underway this afternoon here in New York. CBS Sports anchor and Tennis Channel host Bill Macatee is here with a preview. Bill, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Good to be here.
Let's start by talking about Irene, because there was some concern that the U.S. Open might not start today, but courts are good to go.
Well, it's hard to believe that 24 hours ago we were getting the brunt of Hurricane Irene, but they did an amazing job getting everything ready, and they're going to open the gates at 10 a.m. and they're going to start play at 11 a.m.
Which is fantastic, and there really is nothing like the U.S. Open. So let's start off. We'll look at the field, if you will. We'll start off with ladies first. There's a lot of talk about the woman who's seeded 28th this year, which is not a place she's used to being.
Hard to believe Serena Williams is number 28. Well, she's a great champion. She's had a wonderful summer. She's won 2 titles. She had a pretty serious illness, and she was dealing with possibly career-threatening situation.
Life-threatening almost.
Yeah, and life-threatening as well. But so I think she sort of stepped back and took an account of things, and she is now playing with this renewed passion. She's 29 years old, and I think people would be shocked if anybody but Serena's holding the Champions Trophy in 2 weeks.
Caroline Wozniacki, she's ranked #1, but she's never won a Grand Slam. Her prospects this year?
Well, she just won again in New Haven, where she's won 4 straight titles in New Haven. So if the U.S. Open were played in New Haven, everything would be great. And she's a terrific player and a terrific person, and she would be great as kind of a dominant player. But she's unfortunately not been able to win a Grand Slam. And as time goes on, the burden of those expectations to win a Grand Slam are more significant. And I think it's tougher every time she plays in a Grand Slam.
That must be so tough for anybody. I mean, there's always that burden, but when you don't make it and you don't make it, then that's all you hear about, which must be really tough on your psyche. Let's move over to the men's now. 2010 finalist Novak Djokovic. Did I say it correctly?
Very good.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
Well, so a lot of people looking.
One of the easier
what are we expecting from him this year?
Well, he's really had one of the great years in tennis history.
Yeah.
He won 41 consecutive matches. He's won 2 of the 3 Grand Slams. The only one he didn't win ended that streak, which was in Paris at Roland Garros. So he's got a shoulder issue. He had to retire from the final against Andy Murray in Cincinnati. But I talked to him the other day, and he said, listen, the shoulder's feeling fine, and he's ready to go.
Go ahead.
He's lost, what, two matches? In
2 matches, and
year?
one of them was when he retired against Andy Murray. So he's really on court, only lost 1 match all year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Roger Federer, still around.
Yeah, he's still around. And, when you've got Rafa Nadal, who's not at his best physically, you've got Novak Djokovic with some questions about the shoulder. Maybe Roger can sneak in there. It would be shocking if anybody other than those top 3 win, because they've won 25 of the last 26 Grand Slams. But you never know. Anything is possible.
It's such a golden time for tennis. It really is, with especially these 3 guys at the top, just dominating and playing. Well, some have tailed off just a slight amount, but Djokovic, it's just unbelievable. Right?
Yeah, and it's a year ago we were talking about who can stop Nadal, and now we're talking about who can stop Novak Djokovic. So that's a very good point, Jeff. A golden age in the sport of tennis. And on the women's side, Serena's going to be, even though she's not going to win as many titles as a Martina Navratilova, going to be considered one of the best of all time.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're going to look forward to watching U.S. Open. There's something about the U.S. Open. It's just one of the greatest tournaments to watch, without question.
Come out and see us
in 3D if you can get it on TV this year as well.
It's pretty cool in 3D.
It's getting even fancier. Phil, nice to have you here. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And a reminder: CBS Sports coverage of this year's U.S. Open begins this Saturday, September 3rd, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on CBS.